highlight your pros and your cons, and ask yourself, which one can you live with?
Yes. There are people we've heard that they brought them together, and in the process, they were like you said, and I like that you actually made that point. Go pray about it too, right? Because if God's hand is in it, it will work.
I believe when you take your time to know
somebody, right?
To develop a feeling for them, it makes the journey of your life a lot easier.
And we say this thing sometimes, right? And because we understand what we're trying to say when we say love is not enough, even in marriage, because there's so many other components that come with it. But it's needed because it does a lot of things, especially when conflict arises.
Yeah. Now, and this is why I'm leaning more towards love marriage, what I just said, because love is the motivating factor for the togetherness, for the union. There will always be that component of true friendship and true feelings and true love for each other missing if not developed. And that's the danger of arranged marriage. Blessings and love. It is always a great day here at Refuge and Fortress. My name is Yemi Emmanuel. I go by PY.
And my name is Lonio.
And this is the Let's Talk About It segment of my Darling Bride podcast. Remember, we told you guys every other week we're going to be coming together with my co-host and we're going to be addressing a question, a topic in correlation really with the season, the focus of the season, the theme of the season. This season, we're talking about at the core. At the core. In other words, how did you get to know your significant other really at their core? So while we're bringing other people, other couples to come and share their story with us here on this platform, we are also going to be talking about things you can do or you should do. We're going to try to answer as much questions as we possibly can in relation to getting to know your significant other at the core, whether you're currently with them or you're about to get with them. If that makes sense, right? Depending on what stage you are in your relationship journey.
And today we are discussing or we're talking about arranged marriage versus love marriage.
Oh boy.
Arranged marriage versus love marriage. What is that about? Which one is best? What are we supposed to do? Which one is the best strategy in getting in a relationship? Is it better to go the arranged marriage route or the love marriage route?
Yeah. And this is an interesting one, to be honest, because statistics shows that both types of marriage could work.
Yes.
They're supported by the Bible.
Yes.
Right? And not only are they supported by the Bible, they are also, there's data to back and support both ways. You know what I'm saying?
Ways,
of marriage. But what is your take on it?
And I think also to point out is there's different levels to, especially when we're talking about arranged marriage, there's different levels to it, right?
What do you mean?
In the sense that, okay, when we say arranged marriage, there's the component where you bring two people that don't know each other and you say get married. Some cultures do that till today.
Yes.
Where it's like, okay, the families have known each other for so long, they've promised each other years ago that their children are gonna get married. So now they're of age and it's like, here's my daughter.
So even before you were born, they already promised you to somebody.
They've made that's even a different component that I'm even thinking about, right? Like they've made that promise that this is who's they're gonna marry each other. There's another component where, and we see in different cultures as well. I watch a lot of Indian movies.
Yes,
so
so
I see a lot of this a lot, and they have this culture as well, where it's almost like a matchmaking thing where a family is looking to marry their son and then another family is looking to marry their daughter, and they just connect, or somebody just connects them. They don't know each other. It's not like childhood friends that have known each other for so long kind of thing.
Wait, what I is this what you just said? That I
just mentioned two different components.
Right, I know the first component, but the second component is, are you saying that two families with a son and a daughter. Both of them are of marriageable age. They're getting ready to marry, and then they get a third party to match
one
make.
Is son, one is daughter.
Yeah.
One has a son that's ready to get married.
Yeah.
Another family has a daughter that's ready to get married. So now they're asking people, let me know if you know people that want to get married, right? And then they connect the two. Exactly. They connect them two, and they don't know each other from anywhere.
Yeah.
Talk less of the people getting married knowing each other. So that's another component, right?
So now you've mentioned two components.
Exactly.
One component is
your family friends.
With your family friends. You grew up together, most likely. You probably never thought about each other in that light, right? And then when you became of marriageable age, your families behind your back are saying, I think these two should be able to, get together.
No, marry my daughter. Let your son marry my daughter.
And then there's a whole component where you don't even know this person at all. They're bringing a completely brand new person to you, and you are in a position where you have to marry that person.
Yes. So that's the arranged marriage aspect of things, right? Those two components. Now with the love marriage, it's just simply you met somebody, you fell in love, and you want to marry each other. So when we say arranged marriage versus love marriage, those are the two we're comparing, where you have two people that might not necessarily know each other, or they might know each other, but they don't see each other in that light, that are being put in the position, marry each other. Or you find somebody and you fall in love, and that's the person you want to marry.
And that's the person you want to marry.
What way, we're trying to examine both aspects of things.
So my thing is this. For me, while both as work, this is love culture. I'm all about love.
Wow, way to put it. This is love culture. So you put your love all the way.
I'm all about love, right?
Okay.
I'm all about love, and I'm all about shine your eyes, essentially, right? Know what it is you're getting yourself into.
Okay.
And so before we even go into that, what is love marriage? Love marriage is you met somebody, you got to know that person for yourself, and you developed feelings for them. You fell in love with them, and you saw the future with that person.
It's your decision.
It's your decision. You found that person. Nobody found them for you. And maybe somebody connected you guys.
Yeah.
Like your sister said, oh, my friend wants to whatever. But your inputs, your feelings, your emotions were developed for this person before marriage. And so love has been the motivating factor for the
moving
marriage.
Forward to
now,
marriage.
And this is why I'm leaning more towards love marriage, what I just said. Because love is the motivating factor for the togetherness, for the union, as opposed to the marriage or the stage that you find yourself. And that becomes the motivating factor for the marriage. It's like, okay, I'm of a marriageable age. You're of a marriageable age. We can't find nobody else. Why not? Or maybe we can find somebody else, but our parents are not allowing us to be able to go with the person that we really want to be with. And so we're in a position where, because it's just right and because it's what needs to be done, so we go for it.
Anyway.
The motivating factor for both situations is where I have a problem. Right now, is that to say that you can't develop love for somebody eventually if you go with an arranged marriage situation? I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, what is the motivating factor in the beginning stages, in the foundational stages, which is the important, as to why you're taking that step? The Bible says this: if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? If the foundation of your arranged marriage doesn't have love in it, I'm sorry, you're really going to work hard to develop that love. Love is not enough, but it's a foundation to what we become. It's not enough, but it is a very, very big factor in that. So I am more of a love marriage kind of guy than I am an arranged marriage kind of guy. Okay. If my sons and my daughter came to me and they said, oh, Daddy, we met this person and we want to marry them, do you love them? Do you know them? Have you done your research? Have you done this? We're going to ask all the questions we need to ask. We're going to pray all the prayers that we need to pray. And we're going to bless you guys and see you off. Yeah. But to now wait there and expect me to connect you or bring somebody to you, I'm not doing that. I'm not picking your spouse for you.
Yeah. Before I give my opinion, right? I was trying to understand, why do people even do arranged marriage, right? Like, what is the purpose? And a lot of the things I was finding, number one, obviously for some people it's cultural. That's just their culture. It's what they do. So, you know, when you have culture runs deep. It's belief.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
you can't change that. That's just tradition.
Yeah.
But other reasons that I saw was marital stability. Maybe finances, maybe like trying to, you know, set up two people in a good position to succeed, so to say.
Yeah.
So the process of doing an arranged marriage, it's not really a light thing where it's like, oh yeah, your family has a boy, oh yeah, you have a girl, let's join together. They've done their research.
They do the research.
They've done their research. They found out things. They're like, okay, this could work. You know, remember when we were about to get married, we did like premarital counseling, and our counselor at that time would ask us, oh, do you guys know your blood type? Do you guys know your genotype and all those kind of things? And I don't know if people do that today, but you should find out all those information. It's very important. But in the arranged marriage aspect of things, for those that do it like it's them. They do that research. So that way, at least I'm trying to just kind of paint their mentality now. So that way, they have all the information right about this person to say, okay, this can work and it can succeed. At least I've set them up in a good way. The rest, they can develop and figure out as they go. My only caveat to that, and that's not a bad mentality to have, because you're trying to, at the end of the day, you're thinking about the success of your child's marriage.
The logic makes sense.
My only thing now is a lot of components that go into marriage now is missing if you do it that way, where it's like it's almost like you're looking at paper and you're just saying, okay, on paper they look good so they could work.
Where do you stand? Because you haven't even said where you stand.
With everything I'm saying, you don't know where I stand. I just said my caveat. I use the word caveat. You should know that where I stand.
So, but before we go into your caveat,
where I stand, obviously, I feel like it's very obvious. If it's not obvious, let me say it. I definitely believe, obviously, love marriage is the way to go. Number one, that's what I did. So that's number one reason.
So this, for the benefit of this discussion, right? There are pros and cons.
Yes, to both. Absolutely.
What I would like for you guys to do, whoever is watching us right now, what I would love for you to do is, in your decision on this matter, is highlight your pros and your cons. And ask yourself, which one can you live with?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, to say it's one way over another way is almost trying to guarantee a successful home, marriage. That's a good point. Whatever.
Because even love marriage
ain't no guarantee. So let's just
let me tell you right now.
Let's just point that out there.
You gotta ask God. Holy Spirit is what you need.
So whether it's arranged or love, there's no guarantee. Absolutely. Now, so kind of go back to what you were saying.
But wait, though. I just wanted to point out one reason why I would say I said love marriage. Because for me, I feel like being in marriage for as long as we've been in now and how long we've been together, I understand, number one, love is not enough, right? There's a lot of things that come into it, but I guess my mentality is there's already a lot you got to figure out when you get married. Why add the component of falling in love to it? You understand what I'm saying? Because it just feels like now you've added an extra layer.
To be clear on what you say, why act the process of falling in love? So everything is checked off, but you don't have love.
You don't have love.
So now you have to develop
because
love.
Because when you don't know the person, you have to develop that feelings, the feelings for the person. So you've added another layer to the relationship of already what you got to do. And I just feel like it could be it could be easier to just have that already and say, you know what, because of how I feel about you, I want to marry you, rather than I don't know you, I'll marry you, but let's just keep going. You know, it just feels like an extra layer to walk through.
And the reason why back in the day arranged marriage worked, if you guys listened, if you listen to just last week's episode where we met with Mr. Femi Falade, who talked about culture and the importance of culture for him in his marriage, deciding whether he wants to marry this girl or not, right? And he said that he's dated around a different culture and everything like that, but he didn't have peace like he does now with the person he's dating because they're from the same culture. bringing it back now to arranged marriage, the reason why most of the time, or back in the day and now, it works essentially is because we share the same culture. We're from the same culture. So a lot of what's understood doesn't need to be explained. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? So if we say love is not enough, sure, but at least
we got all this aspect.
We got all these aspects that can make our home a peaceful home. Yeah. All we have to do now is develop feelings for each other.
Yeah.
Develop and we can start developing feelings for each other from a place of friendship. But at least the finances has been taken care of. But at least your belief system is taken care of. But at least I know if we mistakenly go get pregnant now after marriage, while I'm still trying to figure out if I love you or not, I know that we share the same mentality on how we're going to raise our kids, right? I know I've done my homework. Our qualities are matching. On paper, we look good. Yes, we look good on paper. Everything makes sense. So can you run a home on paper? With everything looking good on paper? Absolutely.
Some people do, yeah.
Absolutely. You can have an arrangement on paper. Yeah. You understand? But there will always be that component of true friendship and true feelings and true love for each other missing if not developed. Yeah. And that's the danger of arranged marriage, because it could take you 10, 15, 20 years to develop it, if at all.
So much can happen within that time. You find somebody that becomes your friend.
It's not even
it's not developing feelings for the person.
No, I'm saying, like, even if you go ahead with an arranged marriage, you get into an arranged marriage, you do get married, everything is good. And you guys kind of figure it out, as you go.
It's a partnership. You got it.
You know what I'm saying? You may never develop feeling for that person ever. And if you do, it might take you a long time to develop true love and friendship for that person. That's one danger of arranged marriage that I don't like.
And we say this thing sometimes, right? And because we understand what we're trying to say when we say love is not enough, even in marriage, because there's so many other components that come with it. But it's needed because it does a lot of things, especially when conflict arises.
Yes.
When you have the love there, the friendship there, it's easier to find a solution.
Yeah.
You don't just easily just say, I'm done.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't really know you. And I don't really care. Yeah. I'm walking out the door. That's that having that aspect there does that for you, where you think twice before you walk out the door. Not saying people don't walk out even though they love the person. People can fall out of love. But it makes you think twice before you do it. And that thinking twice can do something. It can make you resolve it, or it can make you leave. But the bottom line is there's an added step for you to an added thing to figure out before you decide to just say I'm done. So it does something when you have that there, as opposed to even you just get to the point where it's like, I don't even like you. I don't even care, to be honest. I'm doing this because my family wants us to do this. You know, so it's very, very tricky. And now with arranged marriage, we've talked about the component of if you don't know each other. What about if you know each other? Your families are friends. You know this person, and they want you guys to get married.
Because you
could develop love and friendship from that.
Yes, you can. Because the idea is that you've known each other. You're already friends and everything. Here's what I would say. Number one, I mentioned. I hope some of the things we're saying is not getting lost in translation as we're speaking. But number one, I mentioned one of my issues with arranged marriage is, number one, the motivating factor behind it. Are we getting married just for the sake of getting married? Or love is the motivating factor for this marriage? The second thing that I don't like about arranged marriage is the contractual aspect of it, where it doesn't feel like a covenant. It's an arrangement, not a marriage. So we arrange for two people to come together, and we join them together, and we send them off on their way. We arrange for that to happen. It's a contract. It never feels like a covenant, because when it's covenant, your heart is in it.
Yeah, you make that choice.
It's a choice, and you're binding each other together in your heart. There's a soul tie that kind of happens when love is involved. When love is not involved, there is no soul tie. There's just an arrangement and a contract. We agree and we arrange together to do this life together. And I bring my son, I bring my daughter, we bring our family, we'll do the ceremony and everything like that, and we'll call you guys married. It's an arrangement. I hate that about arranged marriages. I believe when you take your time to know somebody,
right,
to develop a feeling for them, it makes the journey of your life a lot easier.
Yeah.
I thank God that no one arranged my marriage for me. Some people have told us that our relationship was a mistake back in the day. Some people has told us that the way we went about relationship or the way we went about marriage is a risk. But it's a risk we're willing to take.
Yeah.
We love each other. And God has been with us thus far.
Yeah.
And we have no regrets. So again, it comes down to choices. Open your eyes, make your choice. Because I don't want to preach now. Your choice determines your cross. Can I say that again? Your choice determines your cross.
Yeah.
You will.
Oh my God! Even the people that arrange it for you not gonna carry it for you.
They will not carry nothing. You will carry your own cross.
Yes.
You will carry your own cross, man.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, your whatever your choice is, you will have your own cross to bear. My advice to you is to go on your knees and pray. And pray and pray and pray.
Yeah.
Because if the hand of the Lord is on the decision, on the choice, the cross would be nothing
light
to bear. It would be light. Remember, Jesus said, He says, "Come unto me." He says, my burden is easy and my yoke is light. I hope I'm not like Bomo Bafoshu. I hope I'm not mixing it up. But he says, "Come unto me." Now, the reason why I'm pointing that out is because Jesus didn't say, "Come unto me." There'll be no load. There'll be no burden.
Exactly.
There'll be no yoke.
So let you know that there's already things there that you would have to.
But it can be made easier.
Yeah. Exactly.
It can be made light.
Exactly.
Right? By God's involvement in that situation.
And disclaimer: everybody's situation is different. What works for this person and not work for the other person. So, and we understand that. And in the same component of the second aspect of the arranged marriage, where your friends, your family, it's not saying that you can't develop feelings for the person. If you develop feelings for the person and you fall in love, then you have entered love marriage.
You
understand? So your parents might have brought you together because they felt like this could work, and in the process of doing that, you fell in love. So don't mistake what we're saying and saying disobedience to your parents. That's not what we're talking about.
No.
Right?
I wouldn't want to talk about parents.
What I'm saying is family aspect. I'm talking about the second component with the family aspect.
No, I know.
Of things.
I know. The reason why I'm saying
parents that bring them together.
No. The reason why I'm saying that is because I want to be clear on something. We're not just talking about those who are still under the authority, so to say, of their parents, where you're afraid what they will say, what they would think. You could be in your 40s and be trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
You can be in your 30s and be trying to figure this thing out. You can be not under any form of authority. You can make your own choice and decision. Nobody's gonna shoot you or anything like that. So we're not talking to those who are
people.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Yes. And in that, going back to that point I was making, because there are people we've heard that they brought them together, and in the process they were like you said, and I like that you actually made that point. Go pray about it too, right? Because if God's hand is in it, it will work. I know a story of somebody that they joined them together. They just brought the person. He didn't know her from anywhere else, but he said when he met her, he knew that was going to be his wife. It's like he had the conviction. It's like maybe God already told him, or he prayed about it and God showed it to him. Now there was no love in the beginning, but it developed. Yeah. But at that point, it was his choice.
Yeah.
At that point, so like you said, it became his cross to carry. So, and it's not saying like when we go back to the beginning, either one could work. We've seen both work actually in many people's life, but we're just trying to paint the picture of know what it is you're getting yourself into and understand that when it comes to marriage, nobody's doing marriage for you. No. You're doing marriage for yourself. You and your spouse are in it together. Yes. Everybody else is going to watch from outside. They will advise, they will tell you this and tell you that, but they in their home figuring their stuff out. So you got to figure yours out. So know what you're doing before you get into it.
Yeah, and I think
that's essentially the point of this conversation. It's not necessarily to pick a side and say which one is better than the other. It's really just to point out that point that you need to know what you're doing before you get into it.
Yes, and so I wanted to add a third point as to why I don't agree with arranged marriage, but we'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that for now.
You're pro-love.
Yeah, I'm pro-love all the way. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm pro-love. But we would love to hear from you.
Yes.
Right? We would love to hear your take on this two types and arrangements, or what you want to call it, right? Of marriage. What are your thoughts? What did you do?
Yeah.
What would you do? And
what
this is why you notice everything we're saying. We're not throwing shots at nobody, and we didn't pick a side. Because like you rightfully said, we know people
who have done both. And it works.
And both has worked for them.
Absolutely.
We also know people who has done both and it
both
did
hasn't
not
worked.
All right. So again, recap. Your choice is your cross to bear.
Yes.
The foundation, right? The motivation behind whatever you choose is very, very important, right? And contractual or covenant is very, very important as well. I don't care whether it's love. I don't care whether it's arrangement. Get into a covenantal relationship with your spouse.
Marriage is
not a
covenant.
Contractual. That's marriage. Otherwise, it's an arrangement and you just do whatever you wanted to do. But that is all we have for today, unless you got something else you want to.
No, I feel like we said everything we had to say about it. We talked about it. Now you talk to us. Let us know what you think.
Talk to us. Let us know. Comment down below. What are your thoughts? What would you do? What have you done? What are your advice? And we'll be happy to hear your take on this. I hope we've shared a tip or two to help move you towards a kingdom-fulfilled relationship with self, others, and most importantly with God today.
Yes, don't forget to like, to share with your friends and family, to subscribe, and comment down below.
And until next time, be the light,
be the salt,
and remember, all things are possible
if you believe.